Well, we all scratch our head over some of the crazy firearm legislation here in Australia. So I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to sit down with the boss and have a little fireside chat with him about some of the crazy firearm legislation.
It's a piece of legislation that actually requires us to buy more guns than we might otherwise need.
This legislation means we actually have to buy more guns.
It does, Matt, and I can talk you through how that has happened. But we've been dealing with this for 18 years and raising these issues.
Well, give me a scenario, come on.
Okay, so the issue starts if you're a farmer and you get a handgun on your primary producer's licence, and then you decide you want to go to a gun club and compete in the local gun club shoot. You'd think logically you could take your handgun down to the shoot. No, not so. What you've got to do is buy another handgun and go and use that at the local gun club.
Okay, but what if that handgun's exactly the same?
Even if it is identical in every respect, you must have two identical handguns now to go to the club. If you're at the club as the farmer and you make friends with your new buddies down there and you invite one of those buddies back to the farm to do some shooting, well, they can't bring their handgun to the farm, so they've got to go out and buy a rifle. So the pistol shooter now buys a rifle to come to your place where you've now got two handguns, he's got his rifle, had to leave his handgun at home. The same farmer, generally they can apply for what we call a Category C shotgun for protecting crops, things like that, which is a semi-auto shotgun, low capacity.
And most farmers have these on their property?
Lots and lots.
Yep.
So now if he decides to go to the shotgun club to compete on a weekend, he can't take that shotgun, he's got to go and buy another shotgun, an under and over shotgun, down to the club.
So he's already lawfully able to have a semi-automatic shotgun on his farm.
Yes.
But he can't take that shotgun, which is also lawful to be used at a range.
Well, yes, that's the funny thing. He could actually be standing beside a sporting shooter who is licensed to have a semi-automatic shotgun at a clay target range, but the farmer has to buy an under and over shotgun to shoot beside him.
The guy who's a sporting shooter,
yes, he's
licensed to have a semi-automatic shotgun.
Sure.
The farmer also is licensed to have a semi-automatic shotgun.
Sure, no problem.
They just can't mix.
You can't use they can't use the guns at the same time in the same place doing the same job. It even gets a little crazier again.
No, I couldn't get any crazier than that,
It gets
surely.
crazier because the farmer, having gone to all this effort, bought all these extra guns, he can't use the guns on his primary producer licence on his next door neighbour's property because they're restricted to that property. So if you are a farmer and you have a handgun for farming purposes and then you decide to join a club and get a licence for sporting purposes, it would make sense that you can use an existing firearm that you already have for that purpose. It would seem to me to be logical. Once you have a firearm for a lawful purpose, you should be able to use it for any other lawful purpose.
Rob, have you, you sit on many committees, you often engage with government in relation to some of these issues. Have you brought this up?
Yes, this particular issue has been brought up very recently. Mind you, we have raised this issue and others collectively as industry and sporting shooter representatives for the past 18 years that we've had to administer and deal with these sorts of issues. You would be horrified if you actually sat in a lot of these government committees and saw how some government legislation is developed, how poorly researched it is. Politicians are very quick to jump on the bandwagon if they think there's a nice headline in it for them. They'll quickly call for tougher gun control, they'll quickly call for all sorts of knee-jerk things. There is no one that wants to say, I'm prepared to fix these problems, I'm going to go there for sporting shooters, and for farmers, and I'm going to get rid of this stupid red tape, and I'm going to get rid of these things that don't make sense. And I don't care if I get some criticism along the way, I am going to resolve these issues, and we are going to focus firearm laws on criminals, and we're going to make the community safer.
Now, there is something that you can do about this crazy firearm legislation, and that's to contact your local member and maybe even send him the link to this video.